Hello everyone, today is Sunday the 25th of February 2024 and today is the Baron's birthday. I know you were all guessing when it was. So my good lady said to me at Christmas, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, I want to do some indoor flying, so I would like a Microaces model. And Microaces at the time were promoting a new product that was supposed to be some big secret. It's turned out to be the Sopwith Pup. So I said, can you get me the Sopwith Pup because they're doing a 15% off? And she said, gladly. So here it is. It's my birthday and that's what I got from my good lady wife. Bless her soul. So what have I done this weekend? My birthday weekend. MOT'd the car, mowed the lawn, did a load of cleaning up around the house. I went down the dump, got a load of leaves up. I finally got round to doing what makes people happy. So here we are, the Sopwith Pup. It's a 1/24 scale radio control model. And it will say things like, well, what's in the box and stuff like that, designed for RC. And on the back is a very brief history there. And there you are, that's what you get. Now, I have opened this because I'm not mad. Well, I am mad, but I'm not that mad. Okay. And I couldn't slide it out, it slides out. Couldn't do it, so I had to run a knife down the side of it, just so I can get the top cover off. So that's what I did. So here we go. Alright, and you end up with this box here. And you open it up. And there's a great big Microaces making history. Some bubble wrap, which makes sense. Instructions, and just open that up in a minute. Oh, motor and prop inside. So motor and prop inside, it's got in red large by the looks of it. So yeah, more bubble wrap, and there is the motor and there is the prop. Okay, so I suppose you could say this is the unboxing, isn't it? Now you get a plastic bag full of parts with something, obviously the front cowl, and some light ply parts which are there, I would suspect, to add strength. Now this is quite interesting because if I just put my hand in there, okay, oh, come out, wherever you are, there we go, they give you some magnets in there as well. They give you a cardboard pilot. Okay, now just to give a bit of background, because I knew I was going to get this, or I was hoping I was going to get it, okay, I went out and ordered from Microaces a pilot, and I've put him down after making him and painting him up and everything, and now I can't find him. I will find him. But straight over this first part of the video, I received the pilot, which weighs 1.3 grams, and I painted him up. So I'm going to put that on straight after this, and this will be episode number 1. Now, what I'm going to avoid doing is doing a whole series of how to build this, because I think, I don't know how many hours it is, but Microaces do a YouTube where they show you how to do it. So it's pointless me showing you how to do it. Alright, but I'll show you how to do the pilot. Well, it's how I did the pilot. But what's in the box? So, I'm digressing slightly. So you get these printed parts. Okay. Now you have to remember, this is designed to be really, really light. I'll have to look up what the overall weight should be, but it's made of really light foam, so you don't want to put any creases in it where you should be putting creases in, or leaning on it or stuff like that, because it's just going to, well, wreck it basically. But once it's in one piece, it should be strong enough to withstand well, rigours of life, I guess. So you get that as well. Then you take out the rest of the bubble wrap, and here is scoring and bevelling guide. Okay. Now, I did get in contact with Microaces, and I said, what parts do I need? What do I need to get? And they said, foam to foam, adhesive for rapid foaming modelling, foam safe Deluxe. So it's a Deluxe product, which I've used their products before with varying degrees of success. So he said, buy that glue. So I said, okay, and I did. I bought the glue. The second thing he said was, get some modelling ball tools. So I did. I can't remember how much they were, about £3, something like that, from eBay. So I got all that things he's advised me to get. And he said, get some tweezers. So I bought a load of tweezers of varying kinds, some flat ones there, you see. Okay, and there we are. Now, I can't remember now if you can get the whole thing all in one go or not, I'm not sure. But he did say you're going to need an all-in-one 5-channel receiver, which comes from Microaces. Okay, now I have, because I ordered the pilot and this beforehand, I've binded this with the radio. It wasn't difficult. And also I purchased some 1-cell batteries. Now I think from memory they say you go from 100 milliamps, I think it is up to 200. You'll have to have a look at the instructions, but I bought some 130 milliamp 1-cell batteries. I think the 3.7 volts, I think, and you need a charger. Okay, so for long as you've got all of those things, hopefully you're going to be all right. So that's it. The box is now empty. That's the unboxing. That's all there is to it. And as I said, I'm not going to make a big long series about it, because they've already got that on their site on how to build it. So this isn't going to be about how to build it. This is going to be how much fun is it to build, what's it like to build, and eventually what's it like to fly. So there you go. So the bit after that's coming after this now will be some I pre-recorded some weeks ago when I got all excited and knew that I might get this kit, about painting the pilot. They do a separate pilot, as I said. You know, they do this cardboard 2D thing, but if you want the pilot, they supply that as well, and they give you a selection, I think about four pilots, so that's probably worth looking at. So there you go. I'm going to crack on now building this, and I will update you as and when there's something to show you. Okay, and enjoy the pilot. Microaces 3D printed World War I pilot figure. So let's open the box, and what do we get? It opens quite easily. Here's your figure. I have to say, at first glance, this looks like something that's come from an Alien or a Predator film. This is 3D printed, so the first thing I will be doing is putting this into some very liquid, probably a little drop of vinegar in it to get off any grease or anything, and then I'll cut these away. So I'll just go and pop that in for a little while in some soapy water. Okay, so I've soaked that in some warm soapy water and I've dried it off. Also, you get in the pack is a 5mm straw, which you'll have to shorten down to 40mm or 4 centimeters if you like. And I think you actually glue this to the bottom unless there's a hole in there. But what I will do is, just to start things off, now you really should use some miniature side cutters and just free up this pilot from the base here, and we'll see what we can see underneath. It's quite brittle. I don't know how much this pilot weighs. If I can find my miniature scales, I will pop this on and see what the weight is. There's quite a few stringers on here. Come away. There you go. Let's see what we find underneath. You should always use these type of cutters. You get a nice clean cut and it makes life a hell of a lot easier. Oh, there is a hole. There is a hole. That's a good start, because what that means is if you can get another straw or use the existing straw, you can use it as a handle. Okay, so snip these off. Back of the head there. Yeah. In fact, there are 3 holes. Get that out of the way. I don't have my modelling knife with me because I'm in the kitchen. That's in the workshop. It's freezing cold in the workshop. I have heaters in there. I just think I'd be a bit more comfortable in the workshop. So that's the underneath. So it seems to me there's always some sort of purpose to these holes to the arms. I don't know what the purpose is, but it seems to me that the hole in the body there is designed for that straw. So let's see if we can ream that out a little. Get rid of that excess. The stringers really are getting absolutely everywhere. It's quite disconcerting actually. If I can pull that out the snips. There you go. Now then, we need a flat file. Flatten it off a little. Okay, so this straw I would suspect goes in there like that. So now you have a handle and you can hold it and paint it at the same time. In these instances I always like to use a little bit of blue tack, and this then allows you to make a temporary stand. There we go, make a little ball, place that there, put the straw in, hopefully. Oh, and there you are. So you can stand that up and let it dry on its own, freestanding. So all I've got to do really is just file off any rough edges. You don't have to use a file, you can use glass paper. I think it's just easier with a file right now. Get rid of those edges. And because these are mainly underneath, you're not going to see a whole great deal. There you go. a little bit there. Just don't go mad. Just remember it is very light plastic, and any little blobs that may appear, it's not too bad. At least the worst of it is on the bottom rather than the top. So most of the body I would expect to be hidden inside the cockpit. There you go. So the next thing to do is to use some primer. Now I'm going to use Tamiya Fine surface primer, and I'll just take this outside for a second or two, give it a quick spray, put it down here, let it dry, and that won't take too long, about half an hour I suppose, and then I'll make a start. Okay, so the primer's dried and I'm using some burnt sienna and some raw umber, and what I'm doing, I use the burnt sienna, brushing it on all over the pilot, and taking the raw umber and going into all the folds and the creases to give that bit of contrast. Now once you've got that on, you take a sponge, this is from a washing up sponge, and you just dab it like this. Just keep dabbing it, and what will happen is you get that rawhide effect of leather, and then what happens is the dark and the light mixes together and blends in and looks more natural. And then what I do then is just wipe off with the excess from the face, and then what happens is with the face you naturally get the shadows of the eyes, etc. in there. So what I'm going to do is let that dry for a day or so, because this is you know, being oil paint, it takes an exceedingly long time to dry, but you do get that lovely leather effect on the pilot. And I'll be adding some light parts and the facial parts, etc. And over you know, a few hours and a few days, that'll hopefully all come up and start to look like something good. So that's how I go about things. So just to round off with the pilot, all I've done is just added one or two details like the buttons, painted the strap in for the goggles, highlighted the goggles a bit of silver paint there. This is not black paint in the glass, this is actually dark blue. It just gives it a lot of depth, and you haven't got to go over the top or anything. And just didn't put too much detail in the face, because it's just not worth putting too much detail in the face. It's a little pilot. So then I cover the whole thing in a brown rusty wash, and that brought up all the creases and things and darkened down the gloves. So there you go, there's your pilot, all ready to go. Now, just out of idle curiosity, I've decided that I'm going to weigh this because it's a very light model it's got to go into. So I'm going to pop that on there, okay, and that comes out as 1.34 grams. Okay, can you see? Oh, can you see that? 1.34 grams. Don't know why I did that. Anyway, so there's the pilot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop him back into the original box so I don't lose him, because the model hasn't arrived yet because it's not my birthday. So that's all ready now. So once I've built the Microaces Sopwith Pup, that'll be ready. One less thing to do and get out there and fly.